The season series with the Glens Falls Dragons marches on as we welcome you here to East Field in Glens Falls, New York. My name's Colby Smith. Happy to have you along for the ride here this evening. And, well, the Glens Falls Dragons spent a couple hours in Saugerties last night. Ultimately, were rained out, so this ends up being two consecutive games against each other on the schedule between your Outlaws and Glens Falls. Only other time the Outlaws are going to play the same team in back-to-back games will be July 1st and 2nd when they play at Boonville July 1st and turn around and host the Lumberjacks the very next night on the 2nd. But before we get too far, we want to take a second and wish you a happy Juneteenth here on the broadcast. We're celebrating Freedom Day today, so if you may have noticed, some places around Oneonta closed today, celebrating the holiday, some schools off, so there's that. Happy Juneteenth. And now let's talk about it. Stat breakdown. We're going to welcome in this brand new graphic to the broadcast tonight. Game day matchup. Your Outlaws now 2-7 following the victory the other night by a 2-0 final. Glens Falls is now 3-9. And looking at team batting average, Glens Falls a 220 overall now on the year, which is 13th best in the PGCBL. Outlaws 194 represents the very bottom, but things are on the uprise for this group, and they know what it takes to turn it around. Heard from head coach Keaton Mark on the pregame show today, and one thing that we really spoke about was the bats and how the life is there. It's just a matter of finally starting to put things together, stop taking less strikes to start counts, and so we'll see if that ends up being the strat here against the Dragons. And they're going to have a tough arm on the hill. Xavier Garcia out of Russell Sage College just finished his senior year up there out of San Diego, California. And we'll talk about his numbers as we move into the top of the first inning here coming up shortly. But Glens Falls, 3.75 runs per game through their first 12. Outlaws, 4.11 on base percentage for the Laws is sitting at 345. And for Glens Falls, just a tick higher at 348. Both teams really struggled leaving runners on base. Dragons not nearly as many as Oneonta to this point. Outlaws in 5 of the first 9 games have left 10 or more runners on the base path, so hopefully that'll change moving forward. Staff ERA, you see it, Oneonta 820 and Glens Falls 607. So you certainly can see what numbers got to clean up and quit for this group to start to find more wins and start to rack them up here as we move into the dog days of summer. Also want to take a second to wish a happy 21st birthday to Brendan Connolly, Hudson Valley product looking for a new school this fall, BC. Always got to celebrate him. We had his birthday last year. We were actually off on his birthday a year ago, so nice to have a game on his birthday. We were talking about earlier before we got on the bus how birthday game last year, he would love to kind of resemble something that Colton Harrison did a year ago, and certainly be nice up in Boonville in a doubleheader. His birthday, he played both games, DH one, played first base in one, hit 2 long balls, had 7 RBIs, and I think he finished the day with 8 total hits between the 2 games. So would love to see some kind of resemblance of that tonight. And mentioned in our game the other night against the Glens Falls Dragons, we'll flash this up on the screen here for you. Zach Rao, your player of the game, sits in the 3rd innings on the bump. Surrendered just 1 hit, no runs, no earned runs. He walked 6, but he did strike out 7. Most strikeouts he's had in an outing so far this summer. So without any further ado, is starting lineup introduction for Glens Falls going to start, and we're going to get to the anthem here at East Field. Let's head down to our pregame player interview of the day with Outlaws catcher Zach Porter. Colby Smith, and I'm here today with Outlaws catcher Zach Porter. Zach, going to Glens Falls first time tonight. Just saw him the other day. What would you take out from first matchup with the Dragons?
I really felt like we competed well. It was the first game in a while. We kind of, came together as a team. We had offense. We pitched well. We threw strikes. We played good defense and ended up coming out with a W. So hopefully we go up to Glens Falls today and, see a similar result and just compete and, see what happens.
Well, in talking about the arms and throwing well the other night, from a catcher's perspective, what's it been like working with this pitching staff here?
Definitely got to catch some really good arms. Logan versus Glens Falls last week he was a stud, showed some pretty good stuff. It's great to work with some high-level arms and, to get comfortable catching high-level arms and, just see arms I haven't seen before and, try to get better and improve defensively by catching good arms and seeing new stuff.
Well, and from a catcher's perspective, when you say a high-level arm, what specifically does that mean for you?
Certain guys just come with velo. Good velo always makes you better. You have to have better moves. You have to be efficient to, be good behind the plate and to present the ball well, present the pitches well. And also you have guys with stuff that you haven't seen before, whether it's guys with high level sliders, guys that can throw 3 pitches on the plate like Zach Rowe, um, and just being able to get comfortable with guys you haven't seen before, and guys with pitch ability and guys with good velo and guys with good stuff, and it just makes you better catching good guys.
Well, and how do you go about trying to build relationships with your pitchers and learn what they bring to the table?
Oh, well, it just starts with our catch play and trying to get comfortable seeing how their ball spins, because every pitcher's different, and whether it's through their catch play or through the bullpen before the game, and just trying to communicate with them what they like, what their tendencies are, what they would like to do in certain spots, and just figuring out how me and that pitcher are going to work best together and try to put our best product on the field.
Well, and speaking of all that, I mean, how much do you really communicate with a pitcher in game, and what does your kind of communication ritual look like?
It's different for every guy. Like, you have certain guys have that like bulldog mentality, and when they slip up for a second, they want somebody in their face fired up and telling them to get after it and challenging them to be better. And you also have your guys that you kind of stay quiet and just kind of let them do their thing. So with building that relationship, you just got to figure out what each guy needs, and it's my job to just give that pitcher what they need and try to bring the best out of them.
Well, and what do you see your job as a catcher in terms of full game behind the plate?
Just for the entire game, staying focused, trying to keep the ball in front of me. Certain times pitchers do need to throw the ball in the dirt. Also, certain times they get wild, and if I'm playing my best, I'm keeping that ball in front of me and keeping runners on the bases, not letting them move up due to me. Also, just presenting pitches. Um, the zones here are obviously pretty large sometimes, and so if I can present pitches that are a ball or two off the plate and make them look good, then it helps the pitchers and widens the variety of how they can be successful.
Of all the positions you could have chose to focus on, why did you choose to be a catcher?
I just like kind of you're almost involved in every play, and it allows you to kind of be in control of the game. You got to be locked in, and also if you're having a poor day offensively, you can bring your best behind the plate and still contribute. And it's a very valuable position, and you have to bring your best every day, and I enjoy that.
Well, and tell me about your baseball background. When did you start playing? What's your career been like, and what ultimately led you to playing college ball?
I started playing when I was around 3 or 4 years old. Played all-star for a few years, and then in Chattanooga, Tennessee, we got a team called the Raiders Baseball Club, and we started playing together when we were 8, and it was a collection of like some of the best talent in town. Most of us ended up going to play college baseball, but we played together until we were around 15, and then I started playing for the Scorpions down in Orlando. And in that program, I was able to play with some really high-level guys. Also, at high school, I played at a pretty high-level program at Macaulay, and just through all that, I was able to develop and get better, and through connections of certain coaches and just through my development, I was able to end up at Wofford. And just being surrounded by the best guys in the areas at all time allowed me to become the best version of myself.
How have you enjoyed your experience at Wofford so far?
Oh, I've loved it. It's a small school, so everyone's close. Like you have seniors that are good friends with freshmen. Everyone's tight knit. There's really no other way to go about it, and it's a super tight knit club, and we enjoy each other. We enjoy our time there. Practice is tough. It's long, but our coaches love us. Our coaches love the game. They love making us better, and you got a good group of tight knit guys that all have each other's best interests in mind. And when you're not doing well, you pick up your guy, and when they're not doing well, they pick up you. And there's really not much selfishness in the locker room, and it's good having a tight knit brotherhood, and allows us to be really successful.
Now, of course, being down south and coming up here for the summer to upstate New York, different change of scenery. What's it like playing ball, especially in a climate like this?
It's been awesome. Like I've loved. Normally, I've spent all my summers either in Tennessee and Georgia or down in Florida, so it's been 95 degrees every day, and you're sweating your butt off, and it's hot. But coming up here, it's 75, and it's cool and breezy. You know, it rains sometimes, but it's good weather. You can get your work in, and surrounded by a good group of guys, and I really liked it here so far.
What have you particularly most enjoyed about your experience of being an Outlaw so far?
You know, there was always a question of, you know, am I going to come up here and, you know, find a good group of guys? And I feel like everyone in this locker room's cool. Like we've only known each other a couple of weeks, and we've already gotten to be pretty close. And you know, everyone seems to.
Welcome back to Eastfield here in Glens Falls. Sorry, Zach Porter cutting that one out a little bit early, but we're going to get ready for baseball here at Glens Falls. Couple minutes early, Outlaws Dragons, 2nd of 7 in the season series. And I got a special guest alongside me here for the first couple innings, Alex Burciaga. How are we feeling?
I'm good, Colby. How are you?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good about a trip to Glens Falls here, a place the Outlaws very successful last year. Count quickly to 2-0 here on Matt Carrera. And Alex, from this Outlaw offense, what have you been seeing starting off the year?
Really, I've been seeing some really good baseball. You know, we could definitely work on getting some of the runs in that we don't score. But throughout the whole so far the season, it's been really good. I feel like we're gonna have a really great year this year.
Carrera, the 3-0. That's a nice drop, but misses the zone. That's ball 4. And Alex, on the hill for the Glens Falls Dragons this evening, touting Xavier Garcia, the Russell Sage product. And I know the bullpen was kind of buzzing about him before this one.
A little bit. I didn't really hear anything too crazy about him, but it should be a very good competition tonight. Hopefully we'll come out and get the dub tonight.
Well, Xavier Garcia does top out about 88 miles an hour, throws fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. As this one going to go up and away to Connolly, and the count quickly to 1-0. And Alex, for you, being around some of these guys for the first time, Brendan Connolly, it's his birthday today. What's he like? What does he add to this team?
You know, I mean, he's been doing great. He's been a really big part of this team. The other night he went 3 for 3, so he's been doing really well, putting the bat in play, scoring some runs, getting some RBIs for us. And, yeah, I mean, it's his 21st birthday, so hopefully he scores some more.
Certainly be nice to continue his streak that he started the year on. He's been on base at least once in all 7 of the games the Outlaws have put him in thus far. Is that one nice drop back in the zone and the count to 2-1. And Alex, how do you feel like that rotation and talking about games you're put in? I mean, in summer ball, some guys in and out of the lineup. How do you feel like that kind of messes with you or helps you?
Well, I feel like it really gives me time to like heal. Like right now, I'm not really gonna pitch for a couple more days because of my shoulder, but being able to have like 19 pitchers on the team, it really helps me to get like going, and seeing all these kids like that are like from Marist or Wofford, it like really gives me that motivation to be better every day.
Carrera's on the run with a called strike, and he gets into second, grabs the bag, running himself into scoring position, and man, every time it seems like the send sign on here for an Outlaw with nobody out and getting a leadoff runner on.
Yeah, it's really great. Let me tell you, we got a pretty good squad. Whether it's like on the field or off the field, we're always hanging out, having a good time together. Just being baseball players, you know.
Carrera with a dancing leadoff second here. Here's the 2-2, slapped on the right side of the infield. Moat charges forward. Terrence fires it to Galileo. And that will be a 4-3 out, but it does the job on the sack, advancing Matt Carrera over to third. And, Alex, that's fundamental baseball at its finest.
It's great. It's beautiful. Now we're going to score this run, have the lead.
Jed Clark, the center fielder, hitting in the 3 spot in Coach Keaton March lineup tonight. And Alex, since Jake and since Jack and Jace have come to this team, they've certainly added a lot to this offense.
Oh yeah, yeah, they've been great. I mean, when they come from like a pretty good D1 school, they both live in Florida. They're from Florida, so it's been really awesome just like picking their brains and stuff, becoming friends with them, and watching them on the baseball field. I mean, they're unbelievable, you know.
And they played travel baseball growing up together, became roommates at High Point, now sharing a place here with Nathan Bose and Oneonta this summer. So the friendship between those two is certainly something else as Clark quickly gets into a 3-0 count. And Alex, for you personally, how would you describe your experience thus far being a part of this team and just being around these guys?
Honestly, I'm loving it. It's like meeting these new people. Like at first, like I was a little iffy about it, meeting these people. And then as we got to know each other, like my roommates Kyle and Zach, instantly right off the bat, we just started kicking and became really close. And then hanging out with everybody else, just being a part of this team. You know, it's been really awesome just getting to know everybody, hanging out, like I said. So it's been, and the baseball part too, it's been really awesome getting these innings in, watching everybody play, make the plays behind me, and stuff like that.
Well, and when you speak to that, I mean, you come to summer ball, you don't know those guys. How weird is it to move into a place with two guys that you just, met 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely weird at first. But Zach and Kyle, they welcomed me in right away because they've been childhood best friends for a while now. So, yeah, it was like they made me feel very comfortable.
Ian Wirtz drops this one into shallow left. Gallagher is going to bomb the throw in quick, but Carrera scores from third. Outlaws are on the board. That's an RBI for the Lehigh catcher, Ian Wirtz. So, Alex, nice piece of hitting from Ian Wirtz, who continues to turn heads since joining this team.
Yeah, man, he's a big part of our team as well. Every 1 through 9, every single kid on this team has put in the work and has been able to help us get these wins.
Now it'll be Zach Rao. Takes a nice drop on the slider for strike one. And when you get that confidence, especially from a pitcher standpoint, that all those guys 1 to 9 in the lineup are helping you out, how comfortable does that make you?
I mean, knowing that all these kids are behind me, it makes me feel comfortable, and it makes me want to just throw at like 150% every time. And with them behind me, I have so much confidence in the world that they will make the plays for me, and we will get out of the innings.
Zach Rao in a 1-1 count. One away here, top first. Outlaws already on the board. RBI single to left from Ian Wirtz. Garcia checking the base runners. Is that one going to come in close to the belt? And the count on Zach going to 2-1. And Alex, Zach has kind of been one of those do-it-all type players for this team.
Yeah, man. He's from Oneonta. He goes to SUNY Oneonta. He was their ace this year, actually. And he wasn't a two-way. His coach wouldn't let him, as I heard. But, yeah, all his friends were saying that he was the one. He was the guy to put in, and it's showing. It's showing.
His outing, as you heard in our pregame, 6 1/3 if you missed it the other night. And the head-to-head opener against Glens Falls. Both base runners going. Clark gets into third. That one bounces away from Diaz. Double steals pulled off as Wirtz got the late jump but followed suit. Outlaws now 2 in scoring position. Double steal, 1 down. And the count's full now on Zach Rao. Seems like Coach Keaton's being pretty aggressive here early with the base running tonight.
I love it. It's great. We got to do that every game.
Zach Rao fired a high heater. Rao goes right through it. He'll be retired. Swinging K. And the Outlaw is going to go to Jameson Bollick, who's still trying to get that bat hot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's been putting the barrel to the ball. It's just not falling.
Well, he's what you could call a sleeping giant because once he starts to get those hits to fall, he's going to come alive in a big way.
100%. And he will. He was a big contributor for Hudson Valley this year, so I believe he'll pop off soon.
First team All-American for the Vikings is just announced a week ago. Led JUCO entire nation in batting average this spring, led the Vikings in all but one major offensive category as well, so certainly a big contributor. 2-0 is Garcia, dealt one low, and Bollick can't bomb that one, so the count to 2-1. And when you get a guy like that who comes in with quite the reputation, the coaches are all excited to get, you feel like that kind of does anything to the player's mindset.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it could get into somebody's head, like, a decent amount, like, coming in here, having high expectations, and then, not doing as well as you thought you would do. But, J-Mo, that's his nickname. I think he's been doing well. I mean, he had a couple sack flies here and there. He contributes to his team well, whether it's in the field or batting. So.
And the count goes full on him here with 2 outs as Garcia trying to get out of trouble, leave 2 on the base paths here early for the Outlaws. First base, the only bag open as he turns and deals. And that one sails high, ball 4. And so that is now 3 walks in the first inning, and Alex Garcia really struggling with his command here early.
Yeah, I mean, he's dotting pretty well. It's just not finding the zone. The umpire has a pretty tight zone here. But, yeah, I mean, it's well for us, So we'll hopefully find a way to get a couple more runs here.
Now it'll be Dane Richards with 3 duds on the pond, 2 outs, and he turns, shoots one on a diagonal backwards, and the count quickly going to go 0-1. This is one of those things that Coach Keaton, Coach Joe have continually said, the situational hitting, the 2-out hitting. What do you think specifically from your stance, your point of view, has got to turn around?
Yeah, I mean, when we have bases loaded like this, we've had it a bunch of times this season that it would be bases loaded or 2 men on and we don't score them at all. I think we just, as a hitting rotation, I feel like the batters just need to put a bat on the ball and put it in play somewhere just to like at least advance or score at least 1 runner. So I feel like as a team we could definitely do better at that. And yeah, that's all I got to say with that.
So Richards will turn and put another one up the line, foul territory here. He's now seen 3, and the count's 0-2. Again, it's Jack Clark at 30 and Wirtz at second. Jameson Bollick at first here for the Outlaws. And that one going to drop into the zone low, but rings up Richards, and Garcia going to leave the bases jammed here for Oneonta, top 1. Outlaws, plate 1 on just 1 hit. Glens Falls is going to come to bat for the first time when we come back. Bottom of the first inning back here, Eastfield, Glens Falls, Colby Smith, and Outlaws pitcher Alex Burciaga Alex on the hill for Oneonta. Keaton Mark opts to give the ball to Asa Dugan.
Oh, yeah.
What have you seen from Asa in his first couple appearances?
I mean, his first couple appearances, he's been dominant, all around dominant. He proves himself every day. He works hard. And, yeah, I think he's going to come out here tonight and show us a show.
Tyree Jansen, the center fielder, will lead things off for Glens Falls. This is his first home appearance for this squad after making his debut against the Outlaws down at Damaski the other night. Finished 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch, and Alex, he's kind of a guy Ryan Dio is really looking at to lead this squad. 1-0, bounce down to the dirt opposite side, 2-0. And in terms of specifically what you've seen from Dugan mechanics-wise, what sticks out to you?
I don't really notice a lot, but as a pitcher, like, I could see his mechanics are very tuned.
Carrera gonna knock that one down, but won't get a throw off on the run, having a hard time gloving it. So Tyree Jackson runs it out. That will be an E6 here in the bottom half of the inning to start things. And well, let's talk about it. I mean, this defense sometimes it's up, and then sometimes there's plays like that that kind of get away.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of the game. I mean, we just got to figure out to make the plays, not be too fancy. We will. I'm sure. Hopefully, we'll turn 2 here. But yeah, I mean, it's a not a once in a lifetime thing, but like once in a while, we'll make some errors here and there, but we'll get out of it. I feel like after an error, no pitcher should just put their confidence down.
Tyree Jackson was running all day long, and Ian Wirt's going to have no throw, so he'll opt to hold that one. So Jackson will immediately go to scoring position. And, I mean, it would be nice to only have an error once in a lifetime, yeah.
Definitely.
As a team, how do you feel like you all have done holding base runners on, trying not to give too big of leads?
I think we've done pretty well with that. I mean, I'm sure a couple people have seen the scores of some games, but that's just baseball. It happens. But I think like we do well holding runners, making sure they're not taking big leads and stuff. My first appearance, I saw the kid was taking a massive lead, so I picked him off and got the out. And I think everybody on this team, this pitching lineup, they do very well at that.
So the count now to 3-1 here. Is this one going to be shot up right side of the infield? Bollock going back, reaches up, and looks like Dane Richards let that one fall in front of him. Seemed like there was no communication on that ball.
Yeah, definitely no communication. That's also another big thing we got to work on.
Bollock and Richards both went drifting back for that ball, and neither able to come up with it. So hopefully things can turn around for this team in that respect. But again, now Glens Falls going to have first and third and nobody out. And it will be Aiden Gallagher, the dangerous bat. Put one right through the hole on the left side, past the diving Matt Carrera. So Jackson able to score. Trent Jenks goes to second. And this game is going to be tied up at 1 already.
Now batting for the Dragons, number 8, the designated hitter, Andrew Gingrich.
I'm not sure why our video seems like it's glitching out here in the bottom half of this inning. I was sharing Wi-Fi with Glens Falls from upstairs. As this one down, Ian Wirtz, the throw to third in time as Woodbridge slapping the tag on to get the speedy Trent James. Well, and you said it when he came to the plate in the top half of the inning. He's been really good at helping his team in many respects here so far. That's 2-5 Con stealing for the first out. And now just a base runner in second. And that again is Gallagher. This one, towering ball in the left center, gonna drop. Clark charges, he'll turn, fire it in. Bollitt cuts off the throw, but another run able to score. That's Gallagher. Gabriel gets an RBI single, and quickly already a 2-1 game.
Now batting for the Dragons, number 4, the third baseman, Enrique Diaz.
4 singles that have all been able to fall in. And now it's Enrique Diaz, plays for the second consecutive game against the Outlaws. Dugan will turn, drop that one low. And that's ball 1. Gabriel, short lead off first here for the Dragons. They're opting to go with the white tops. Red letters, red numbers tonight as Connolly turns, flips to Carrera, bombs it over to first in time to get that double play.
Beautiful play, beautiful play.
So 4-6, Gabriel will be forced down. Enrique Diaz sent down on the back part, 4-6-3. Glens Falls, though, plates 2 on 4 hits as the Outlaw defense comes back to shine in the end of things. Dragons strand none. Into the top half of the second we go here at East Field. Glens Falls, a 2-1 lead. Top of inning number 2, back here Eastfield, Glens Falls, Colby Smith, Alex Burciaga, and Alex 8, 9, 10 will bat in the lineup as it's going to be Thomas Woodridge starting things off against Xavier Garcia. And that one's sailing in high for a ball 1. Now tell me about Thomas Woodridge and his skill sets.
He's actually come from Wofford University with a couple other guys on this team. He's been really solid. He plays third. He made a couple big plays out there at third last game against Glens Falls home. And, yeah, his bat's been on just like that.
That one thwacked off the glove. Nice to see that.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas, as you can see, he puts the ball in play. Hopefully make the players make errors. Just any way to get on base, and his defense has been really outstanding for us, and he's been a big part.
Well, and Woodridge just recently, as you mentioned, was at Wofford, now joining Monroe Community College next year, so still got to get a commitment graphic out. I've been slacking, but it's all right. Had an off day yesterday. Enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. Have to enjoy the off day.
Hugo Conor's taking ball 1. And, Alex, for you, how do you spend your off days around Oneonta?
Usually just hang around my boys. Usually go downstairs to the other apartments, hang out with those kids, sometimes play MLB, the show.
That was close.
Yeah, that was very close. But, yeah, play video games, go out with my friends, go get dinner, whatever it is. Just spending my off day. Sometimes we'll golf, so that's pretty fun.
Who would you say is the best MLB The Show player you've played against so far?
Definitely me, 100%.
Oh, and Woodridge is going to be nailed out at first on the banger. Garcia tries to pick off a second time. Galileo forces the tag down, so That'll be a 1-3. And just like that, leadoff base runners erased.
Yeah. Damn. It's rough, but hopefully Hugo gets things going for us.
Hugo Conors to 1-0 count. Opted to join Westchester earlier on this spring, and he talked about it on our pregame show the other day, how big it was for his confidence to play out most of his season this year, committed to Westchester. And still for the Outlaws, he's trying to get going, just 2 hits thus far. And, man, I think everybody's been saying it, but once this offense really gets starting to click, really to gel, things are going to start to turn around real quick.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I've been saying it from the jump. I say it every time, whether it's a loss or a win, the laws are hot, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, once we start getting very comfortable in the box, start hitting, I think we'll be a nasty team. So
Conors has that one get by him, coming close to the knees. So the count goes full with just 1 out. Again, if you're just dropping by, Glens Falls, a 2-1 lead. Outlaws played at 1, top of the first, RBI single, Ian Wirtz. For Aiden Gallagher, Andrew Gabriel returned the favor with RBI singles each in the bottom half. So Hugo Conors now retired on a strikeout. And Connor Waiting will come up, and Alex Connor still looking for that first hit of the summer.
Yeah. I mean, he's struggling right now, but his defense has been great at first base. He's been a big part for our defense too. I'm excited for when he gets his first hit. You know, it's always a good feeling. But I mean, he puts up at bats. He just can't find a hole.
Waiting will take one in high for ball 1. And honestly, I'm thinking that for our next half inning here, I might end up switching hotspot here if our video is going to keep glitching like this on the Wi-Fi we're using up here at East Field.
Yeah.
Looking pretty bad, so I do apologize. But the count to 2-1 here on Waiting, and again, there's 2 outs. Got Moat shifted over right side of the infield. Is this one going to sail in high, ball 3? And even though Connor hasn't had a hit this summer, he's been still finding ways to get on base between walks and hit by pitches.
Oh yeah, definitely. He puts up counts. He's a very good strategic baseball player. You know, he's very smart on the bases. He guesses the right pitches almost every time. You know, he's just an all-out great player and a great person to be around. So.
Now we go back to the top of the lineup for Matt Carrera. He watched, stole second, scored a run starting off this game for the Outlaws. Short lead for Connor Waiting over there as that one sails high for ball 1. And Alice, tell me about what you think of this. Matt Carrera back to the top of the lineup for the first time opening night. How do you feel about that?
I'm loving it. You know, I'm loving every bit of it. He started off pretty cold at the start of the season, but the past, I would say, like 4 or 5 games, he's been raking, and him at shortstop is just really well. He makes plays. I mean, he made an error at second, but at short, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't bring his confidence down at all. He's a very confident player. He believes in his stuff, his mechanics, and he puts it to play.
So the count to 1-2 here on Matt Carrera. That opening night game was a tough 8-5 loss at Amsterdam, and we mentioned it on the broadcast the other night down at Oneonta, but both of these squads have had some really close games against Amsterdam in the early goings. Glens Falls, Alex, believe it or not, they lost to Amsterdam by 1 run twice.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, Amsterdam's a very good team. Glens Falls is a very good team, but in this league, anybody could win. It's a 50-50 shot every time.
2-2, going to miss the spot, and the count runs full with still 2 outs. And, I mean, talking about 50-50, I mean, 7 losses now on the slate for the Outlaws, but three of those in the early goings were kind of our game till the 7th. We've had a couple of close ones here as of late. I mean, it's just a lot of games that could have gone either way.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've had some very close games, like against Amsterdam. We were 4-4, and then the 8th inning came, and we just lost it. I mean, it's just like stuff like that. We definitely got to work on securing wins, keeping people off the bases and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think once we perfect everything, like we'll just be a nasty squad, and we'll definitely be in the top 3 teams.
So back-to-back Watts here. Now 3 Watts in this half inning. We'll go to Brendan Connolly. And Glens Falls is going to pinch Diaz up from third a bit. Garcia's already making his 4th start on the hill for Glens Falls this summer as that one sailing high and upstairs. On deck is going to be Jack Clark here for the Outlaws. And that one going to sail in head high and the count quickly to 2-0. Specifically from mechanics-wise, what have you been seeing from Xavier Garcia?
He's filling up the strike zone. That was a bad miss. It's definitely working for us, but mechanics-wise, he looks pretty solid. Hopefully we'll get the jump on and score some runs right here.
2-0, belted in the air, out towards right center, jogging over, it gets caught by Jensen. Outlaws end up straining 2 as Xavier Garcia watched 3.5 innings. Still just 1 hit, and Alex Berciaga, thank you so much for taking the time to swing by tonight.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, man.
Glens Falls going to lead this thing 2-1, bottom of the 2nd, coming up next. on Sunday. So the count to 2-0 here on Christian Moat is on the run again. Goes Travis Stroh. Works off the glove of Woodridge. Rolls into shallow left. Back up from Carrera. He's not going to get a throw off as he bobbled it in the transfer. Stroh has scored. Dragons lead goes to 4-1. So Stroh going to get stolen back there, and we'll see an error come on the Oneonta defensive side of the ball. Counts 3-0 on Christian Modus. Things starting to unravel here quick. That one comes back in the zone on the off speed, so the count rolling to 3-1. And again, we apologize about our camera issues, our audio issues here in Glens Falls tonight. Trying to get everything all figured out. Is Christian Moat going to take one low ball 4? And so he'll be on courtesy of the free pass, and now Wirt's going to go jogging out. Certainly going to try to make sure he gets on the same page as Asa Dugan before we go too far along in this one. Ryan Jones will come and swing the bat next here for Glens Falls. Still looking for our first out here, bottom 2, and Coach Dio certainly loving things over as the third base coach for Glens Falls for how this half inning's unfolding. That one going to be just above the shoelaces, ball 1. Glens Falls after tonight, they're going to host Mohawk Valley here tomorrow, go to Boonville on Saturday, and then following an off day Sunday, they are going to have 5 of their next 6 at home, including another trip here for the Outlaws next Tuesday, as the count going to 1-1 with another backdoor strike. After that first trip for the Dragons to Damaski Field, 4 straight in the head-to-head here in 2025, all at East Field. A bouncer left side, Carrera turns, flips it to Connolly, the turn back to first. Bullet stretched out, but unable to corral it in for the double play, but at least they get the lead runner as Christian Moat going to be forced down. So put him down 6-4. Jones is on, courtesy of the fielder's choice, and now it will be Michael Sweeney, the shortstop. Sweeney playing second consecutive game, still hitting just 160 with 1 extra base hit, has 2 RBIs. Area where he's excelled is the watch. He's taken 5, sitting in a tie for second on the team for Glens Falls here thus far. Dragons again, it's a 4-1 score here, bottom 2, as Dugan misses spot. Wirtz keeping that one in front of him, running the count to 2-0. Outlaws only mustering up 3 hits in that 2-0 victory on Tuesday night. Had the off day yesterday, as we mentioned, with Burciaga, and now with tonight, this team starts a stretch of playing 9 consecutive days with a doubleheader sandwiched in between there, as we'll play a twin bill at Utica on Sunday starting at 5:15. 3-0's your count. Is that one. Misses low and outside, ball 4. So Dugan offering up a second walk this half inning. Jones will go to second. And the Outlaws are already going to start to get somebody starting to throw down to the bullpen and left. Outlaws have the dugout third baseline, their bullpen in left. Glens Falls home dugout first baseline with their bullpen being in right. Tyree Jetson already back up for the second time, and he finds himself in a 1-0 count. Singled, stole second, and scored a run in the first, as that'll be low yet again, 2-0. Got a rainbow here at East Field, out in left center field. And very prevalent too. You can see the blue, yellow, orange, and red. Had some rain all afternoon, but luckily passed in time for baseball as the bombed hit in the center. Clark charges and hauls it down. So 2 outs here now, bottom 2. And Dugan needs just 1 more to get himself out of this half inning. Trent James will now come swing the bat. He is a two-way for this team from Hofstra. Actually got the start on the hill at Damaski Field on Tuesday night. Went 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 was earned. And he struck out 6 Outlaws. Turns on the first one, popped it over the head of Connolly into right center. Waved Ryan Jones, going to come to score. Going to third, Michael Sweeney. In the second, standing up, Jenks. And the Dragons lead moves to 5-1. So Trent Jenks has started this ball game 2 for 2. And the Dragons now have 5 different players with an RBI in this one. Keaton Mark will come out of the dugout here to talk to Asa Dugan. Outlaws certainly with the stretch that they're in. If the pitcher's struggling, you hope that they can give you a little bit of depth, a little bit of leverage, but he's going to hand the ball off here tonight. And so we'll introduce you to the new arm for Oneonta when we come back. Dugan, inning and 2/3, and he will be responsible for the base runners at first and second. Dragons ahead, 5-1. Back here to Eastfield and Glens Falls, bottom 2. 2 away, and it scores 5-1. David Denton taking things over for Asa Dugan out here now on the hill. Denton, well, 3 appearances already on the summer. He's 0-1 in his 3 innings of work. All of his appearances have come in low leverage spots, and he's able to get it out here. Is charging in. Dane Richards snarls it down. In total, well, his worst outing was his last one when he got the loss at Amsterdam. 2 hits, 4 runs, 4 were earned, struck out 1. Pitched 2 scoreless innings before that at Amsterdam and home against Utica on June 4th. But we'll talk more about Denton, as I'm sure he's going to stay in here. Glens Falls plays 3 more here, bottom 2. They take a 5-1 lead as we go to the top of the 3rd. Outlaws going to have Jack Clark lead things off, starting top of inning 3, as it will be 3, 4, 5. Ian Wirtz, Zach Rao are going to follow him. Xavier Garcia back on the hill for a third inning of work. He's only given up 2 hits thus far. As that one, nice drop back door, and Jack Clark will trail 0-1 in the count. Clark reached East Sitch first time up and stole third, got left there as the Outlaws ended up stranding 3 in the first inning and have already stranded 5 through the first 2 frames. Opportunities to score some runs have been there. Now it's just a matter of continuing to try to capitalize as Clark will be down swinging when pulling for that off speed on the outer lower of the plate. And he'll take the walk back to the dugout as Outlaws quickly going to go to Ian Wirtz after just 3 pitches. Wirtz hit the RBI single back in the first inning that accounts for the only Oneonta run on the board. And he first pitch swings again as he skyrockets one left side, shallow left, few steps in, gets caught by Aiden Gallagher. So 2 quick outs on just 4 pitches here for Oneonta, and now it'll be Zach Rao. He struck out swinging in the first inning. Is it Xavier Garcia? Now 4 strikeouts already and counting of the 8 outs he's recorded. Longest start of the summer was his last one against Boonville Saturday, went 6 innings. In his final line, 5 hits, no runs, no earned runs. Walked 3 and struck out 4, throwing 92 pitches, 56 of them for strikes. 1-0 pitch, and that'll brush roll backwards, 2-0. He left with the score, 3-0 in favor of the Dragons, and the bullpen watched that one slip away with 6 runs scoring in the last 2 frames, and the Lumberjacks walking it off at home up in Boonville. Now a 3-0 count. Behind Rao would be Jameson Bollock up next here for the Laws. And Rao shows bunt as he cranks it back, and that will be strike 1. (3-1), big swing and a miss, and the count runs full. Rao turns at this one and skyrockets it up out in the left in the tree area. And so he'll keep going. Nice work by Xavier Garcia after getting ahead 3-0 to battle back, force it to a full count, and now he'll fire again. Rao will turn, spray another one off towards those trees and left. Sky's starting to get a little dark out in the left center area here at East Field. Garcia's shaking off Jones as Rao, a towering fly ball out into center field. Going backwards, Tyree Jackson makes the snag, and that'll end the half inning. Zach Rao were tonight's at bat, but Oneonta sent down 1-2-3 here, top third. Dragons come back to that, leading 5-1 when we come back. Bottom of the third here from East Field, and after the Outlaws retired 1-2-3, top of the third, David Denton back on the hill, and he'll see 4-5 sits in the Glens Falls lineup. Andrew Gabriel taking one in low for ball one. He had an RBI single in the first inning. Denton now going to shoot one in high, and the count quickly to 2-0. And I'm joined now here on the broadcast by catcher Nathan Bose. Nathan, how we doing?
Can't hear.
This one, left side, Woodridge going to turn, fire it on over into the glove. Jameson Bollock, and there'll be one out. How about now? So now Denton with one down. Going to see Enrique Diaz, as that one will be low, ball one. Denton going to shoot that one in tight to the knees, and the count to 2-0. And Denton, first base side. Going to drop that one in there for a strike. Now, Nate, how we feeling?
Feeling good. We'll get it going here soon. Feel like our guys are starting to get more competitive at bats and stuff like that. So should be good. Make a nice play here. Got to get this inning over with quick. Can't let them keep this momentum.
Connolly flipping that one to Bollock, and so 2 ground ball outs here now for the Outlaws. And I mean, saw Asa Dugan start. What'd you see from him in that first inning and 2/3?
To be honest, I thought he had pretty good stuff. He looked at his pitches pretty well. I mean, they just hit the ball. They made good contact, and they hit the ball the spots that we weren't. So I think that hurt a little bit, but it's all good. We'll back him up. Our bats will come alive.
Well, and in terms of what you've seen from the defense tonight, I mean, a couple of mistakes. How do you go about cleaning that up, fixing that?
I mean, I think a little bit of it is definitely a tough field to play on, tough field to field at, to be honest with you. It's really thick grass and hard dirt, but, I mean, can't really use the excuse. Just got to slow the game down a little bit and not let it speed up on us. And, yeah, I mean, it's all right. I think we'll come alive. We'll make some good plays here.
Nick Galileo had that home run in his first at-bat, leading off the bottom of the second. Now he finds himself in a 2-1 count. In terms of, you know, that long grass and that hard dirt, how tough does that make it to really play here?
Yeah, I mean, definitely makes it tough. Oh, we got a ball coming. It definitely makes it tough for sure in terms of speed on ground balls and choppers like that, because the grass does slow it up a little bit, but once it hits that dirt, it tends to skip up on you. So, I mean, that's really what our one error is from today. It's that chopper to Matty C over there at short that just took a tough hop up on him coming right out of the dirt. Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes it tough. It's tough to play in the field like that because your confidence is a little messed up. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. You just got to attack the short hop or play the long hop. I mean, that middle hop's going to be tough to field all day. So.
Count 2-2 here on Galileo. Trying to snap a 2-game hitless streak. Well, he already did with his home run, but trying to find a multi-hit game for the first time this year, if you will. And now he fouls another one off. And Nate, in terms of what you've seen from this Dragons team, now seeing them the other night and seeing them here tonight, how do you feel like this team is kind of just gelling as a unit?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely a good team. They definitely have a good pitching staff, and I mean, they're hitting it better tonight than they did the other night, obviously. But it's all about also home field advantage. They know what works here. They know what beats other teams. So it's just going to be matching how they play and getting up on their arms. Like, we know that they're going to have decent arms, so we got to just kind of cause some havoc out there on the base paths, just get guys on and pass the baton, you know what I mean? Like, we got to try to get as many guys up there as possible every inning and just try to create runs however they come.
Denton strikes out Nick Galileo, and we'll go to the top of the fourth here in Glens Falls. Outlaws still trailing by a 5-1 score. Back here to Glens Falls, top four. Jameson Bollick will lead things off for Oneonta. Trying to get things going, as Nate Bowes gracefully said here, swinging by the broadcast and hoping to get these bats really gelling and clicking and starting to score some runs, because this is a very tough field to play at, as he pointed out, and I was talking to a few of the guys about it when we first got here. This field, grass always super high, dirt super hard, the tall fences, and well, it's just intimidating to look up, see those bleachers in the outfield as well. Not that there's anybody sitting out there here at Eastfield tonight, but certainly makes it quite the spot. 1-1 pitch, turn, shot up, first baseline foul, dropping over the seats, and so the count to 1-2. This place does seat 6,000 is its capacity, and back in the day there was some minor league ball here. This place opened 1980. White Sox had an affiliate here for 5 years. Tigers had an affiliate here for 3 years, and St. Louis had an affiliate here most recently in 1993, but since then, just been summer college ball and semi-pro football that have used this Eastfield complex right in Glens Falls. Bollick 1-2. He'll be followed up. Dane Richards, Thomas Woodridge here for Oneonta. And another elevator shot popped up behind home. Jones going backwards, but that is going to get up to the left of the dugout and out of play. So Bollick's already used 5. Xavier Garcia is starting to see his pitch count climb. Shortest start he's had has been 4 innings. Went 4 innings against Mohawk and 4 innings against Saugerties as well. And, of course, his long outing, like we talked about earlier, his most recent 6 innings at Boonville. This one up the line, third base side foul territory, and Bollick continues to fight with 2 strikes. Outlaws looking for their first hit since Woodridge lit off the top half of the second with a single. Popped off the glove of Diaz, rolled into shallow left. And now Bollick will be rung up looking on a high strike 3 call. Zone certainly seeming to be very big here this evening. And Outlaws going to now send Dane Richards up after he struck out looking in the top of the first. Diaz will again pinch up a bit from third. And Sweeney's at short, Moats at second, Galileo at first here for this Glens Falls infield. We remind you, Gallagher, Jackson, Stroh left to right in the outfield. Is that one, another high strike call. And the count draws even. All ones up on the board, 1-1 count with 1 away. Garcia put a fastball right down the middle of the plate, and Richards drops it into shallow center for a base knock. So that'll be the 4th hit of the season for Dane Richards, 3 of which have come on the road, as he had a 2-hit game in Saugerties in the Outlaws' first trip down there June 1st. It'll be Woodridge. Talked about it with Burciaga in the 2nd inning, but recently making the switch. He'll be going to Monroe Community College in the fall after spending his first year at Wofford. Redshirted the year, so he'll have full year's eligibility still remaining. Woodridge, a very good ball player out of Fayetteville, playing in a 2nd consecutive game for the first time this summer, as he was also at third in the first meeting between these 2 squads Tuesday down in Oneonta. Richards is baiting a throw off of first, and Garcia's shown not afraid to try that pickoff as Woodridge out in a shallow left on the run, caught by Gallagher just as the lights pop on here at Eastfield. So a liner to left for the 2nd out. Richards still at first, and Hugo Condor is going to try to keep the half inning going, but first out of the Glens Falls dugout pops manager Ryan Dio. Glens Falls has had an arm up and throwing here for the last 5-7 minutes or so, and it looks like he's taking the ball early from Xavier Garcia. So he's only going to go 3 2/3 innings tonight, his shortest start of the season for this Glens Falls team. And we will introduce you to the new Dragon's Arm when we come back. Glens Falls a 5-1 lead here in their home park. Back here to Glens Falls, Hugo Cohnhorst quickly into 0-2 counts in a new arm, Jake O'Connor. Jake O'Connor actually threw in the game the other night, relieving Trent James through the 6th inning. Only saw 3 Outlaws, mulling down to 1-2-3 as he's been very effective thus far on the summer. O'Connor is another guy who's a two-way player for this team. Hasn't seen much time other than on the mound, though. Finishing off 6 2/3 total innings to this point out of Hudson Valley. 3 hits, 2 runs, both have been earned. He's walked 1 and struck out 2 as well to complete his full summer stat line. 3 hit by pitches as well. Summer Hudson Valley only went 5 innings as that one straight up the middle range and left. The high throw pops off the glove of Moat and rolls away. So some good heads-up base running there. Going to leave the Outlaws with 1st and 2nd and 2 outs. So that will be credited as a single. And Connor Waiting, who walked his first time up, going to try to keep the 2-out rally alive. Richards, long lead off second, Waiting a half swing and going to taser it off foul. Outlaws Dragons going to be right back here playing again on Tuesday before the final 4 meetings of the 7, all going to be in the month of July. 7 total between these two squads this year. Played 6 a year ago. Tied in the season series 3-3 head-to-head. Outlaws won the first 3. Dragons won the last 3. One, down and away. Count runs to 2-1. Outlaws still looking for their first win on the road. Dragons looking for their first win at home. On deck is Matt Carrera if the Outlaws can keep this 2-out rally alive. And now Waiting up the line. That going to stay fair. No, foul. Okay. And Waiting going to be in a 2-2 count. If that one had been a fair ball, Diaz takes it to the bag and the half inning's over, so at least Waiting gets another go at it. The Hudson Valley product 2-2 pitch. Going to sail upstairs, and the count runs full on Waiting. Again, Waiting still looking for his first hit of the summer. As O'Connor glances backwards. Richards the short lead, and that one will come in towards the bell to Waiting, and that's ball 4. So Waiting on for the second time, courtesy of a walk tonight. And it is starting to sprinkle a little bit here at Eastfield and Glens Falls. So base is going to be juiced here with 2 outs. Now it'll be Matt Carrera. And he takes first pitch called strike. Carrera's already walked twice. Scored a run, stole a bag. O'Connor glances backwards as Carrera going to shoot this one off up the right field line foul. And the count to 0-2. If the rain does start to be a problem here in Glens Falls, we'll switch over to Instagram or Facebook Live here for the rest of the night. Trying to keep the phone juiced up just for that reason. Is the 0-2. Going to skip away from Jones. And O'Connor came charging towards the plate. Would have covered if he had to do so. But instead counts 1-2. And all base runners stay put. Carrera should certainly be an opportunity where you'd love to see him put a ball in play. Do have all three outfielders up a little bit. Back mode on the dirt and got Sweeney kind of right on the edge back of the dirt. And Carrera going to take a low one for a called strike 3. And he will be rung up looking to end this top half of the fourth. Outlaws have already left the bases loaded twice. They've stranded 8 through 4 innings. Bottom 4 coming up next. It's all Dragons leading this one 5-1. Bottom of the fourth back here in Glens Falls. David Denton going to stay on the hill, and Travis Stroh starts things off. And he checks his swing on the first one, and he does indeed offer. Stroh will be followed up. Christian Moat, Ryan Jones, as it's 7, 8, and 9 here in the Glens Falls lineup. Stroh will go off speed on 10, can't connect, and so he quickly trails 0-2. Sprinkles have stopped here at East Field, at least for the time being. Clouds still very dark all around the ballpark. Was a very eerie drive to begin with coming up here as Stroh will be rung up looking on a low one. Had sun for a little bit, then all of a sudden it would just start raining out of nowhere for a good 5-10 minutes. Then we'd instantly go back to sun and then rain yet again. It just seemed like that was kind of the repeating cycle on the way up here. So certainly a very odd trip to Glens Falls, to say the least. Christian Moat going to take a high called strike 1. Denton's been topping out high 70s, and again, he's coming off that loss at Amsterdam last Wednesday, trying to rebound. He's looking good here, at least to start, as the count going to 1-1. Christian Moat walking his first time up, and then was forced out 6-4 on the base pass. Jones getting on behind him, courtesy of the fielder's choice. 1-1. And that one going to break low. 2-1. Got Connolly positioned about halfway over between first and second right now. As that drops down and away. And a count to 3-1. And got those backwards. We'll fix that for you here on the scoreboard. And now the 3-1. Comes back low in the zone with a called strike. And so the count runs full. Christian Moat actually had 5 hits last summer and 3 games played against the Outlaws, including a walk-off hit here on July 6th last summer in 10 innings. Was absolute heartbreaker for the Outlaws in that one. They led by multi-runs multiple times in the game and then just watched it slip away in the end, and that was right before a 3-day break too, so they had to sit on that one. So Moat will be at first with 1 down. It'll now be Ryan Jones. Woodridge will pinch up a bit from third, and Denton trying to pick off, almost got away from Bollock. Back of the zone, Denton offers up a strike. In the 5th inning, we will take a look at PGCBL out-of-town scoreboard here tonight. Some big games going on, especially here on the Eastern Division side. 0-1. And this one, a mile high, straight up the middle. 3 converging, and it gets caught by Connolly. Once again, this team has to be better about communicating on fly balls, but luckily Brendan Connolly able to hold on to it. So there's 2 down for Michael Sweeney, represents the 10 spot in this Glens Falls lineup. Seven hits already for the Dragons. None since Denton's come in. Bollock off his glove, going to scamper towards this one. And luckily Christian Moat doesn't go anywhere, so he still hangs it first. Another one going to come on in, up and away. So the count to Sweeney starts 1-0. He walked on 4 straight balls in the 2nd inning. Denton now fires. This one tapped up the line, foul ground, took a couple of skips getting past Woodridge. And so the count will go to a ball and a strike. Outlaws followed tonight. Going to be right back at home tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow will be Star Wars night against the Saugerty Stallions. Free admission sponsored by NBT Bank, and Senator Peter Oberacker will be in the house throwing out the first pitch. Saturday will be free admission and Catskill Mountain Little League night as this one bounces away from Wirtz. He slides left, and Moat will advance on the wild pitch 90 feet down to second. But Catskill Mountain Little League night, free admission by Mellencott Pharmaceuticals, and most notably Hawaiian night on Saturday, playing Amsterdam at home for the first time. So be a great time at Damaski Field. 2 home games and 2 free nights this weekend before going to Utica for that doubleheader Sunday starting at 5:15. 2-1, and that'll sail on towards the hands 3-1. Outlaws then next week. And guess it did clip his hand all right. Certainly got the better angle down there. So Sweeney's on. And it's Tyree Jackson now. Lofton one up over the screen. First base side. Off foul, so it's 0-1. Looked like that pitch to Sweeney that drilled him, just kind of tipped him on fingertips, edged up and in. This one bounces down low, 0-2. Is Jackson offering on a half swing. Everybody's creeping up forward here on the infield, except Connolly, who's positioned back on the edge of the dirt. 0-2, and this one higher than the Grand Peaks in left field, caught by Zach Rao. So he drifts forward, makes the play. A couple of hard hit balls off Denton in the half inning, but he's able to work around a strand 2 on the base pass on no hits. And we go to the 5th here at East Field in Glens Falls. Still all Dragons. It's a 5-1 score. It's the birthday boy back up for a third time for the Outlaws as we kick things off here to start top five. Connolly celebrating the grand old 21 today as Jack Clark, Ian Wirtz going to follow him here in this fifth. 2-3-4 for Oneonta. Hoping finally get some base runners around. Stranded 8 through the first 4 as that gets past the diving Moat in the right. Got a late lay down on trying to make a play on that ball. So Connolly, his first hit as a 21-year-old. And we'll go to Jack Clark. Clark originally put it as an E6 in that first inning, but scored by Glens Falls as a single, so he'll take that. So he's 1 for 2, struck out swinging his last time up in the third. O'Connor gonna bomb a fastball down to the outer side of the plate and counts to 0-1. Jack Clark's impact on this team has been something else. Leads this team stolen badge, very speedy. Also a guy who's always in the dugout, breaking down little things, and just loves to talk baseball. He's just a baseball junkie all around and in a good way. Loved our interview with him. We featured on the pregame show a couple days back, and if you want to check that one out, can catch you right here on YouTube, or you can head over to Facebook, IG, and check it out. It's up the middle, Moat going to turn to second, and on the transfer drop by Sweeney. Connolly safe there. He didn't get the foot on the bag. So it'll be another single. No, okay. Well, they're actually going to say that Connolly nabbed out there. So it's a 4-6. I apologize. Thought they were nailing safe over there, but it was actually for Jack Clark. Is count that as a fielder's choice. Ian Wirtz finding himself in a 1-0 count. Some of the sight lines here at Glens Falls certainly interesting from right behind home back here. 1-0. Skyrocketed, shallow center coming in underneath. Tyree Jetson waves everybody off. Sweeney and Moat were both there, but Tyree Jetson came in yelling, and luckily he's able to dig that one out for the Glens Falls side. And now there's 2 away for Zach Rao, who's 0 for 2. Struck out swing back in the first, and then had a fly out to center in the third, both of which have ended half innings, so not trying to see himself be up at the plate 3 times and end a half inning 3 times. Short lead off first for Jack Clark. He looks like he wants to go, but O'Connor quit moving to the plate so it doesn't get too much of a jump. Rao quickly be down in the count, 0-1. Short lead off first, yet again. This time, a lot more moving on that back foot. As O'Connor winds, and Rao bombing the fastball off. Foul past the outlaw pen and left. And so he'll be in 2-strike approach with 2 outs. And it continuing to start to get darker here at East Field, and not just because the time of day. Clouds starting to get a lot grayer here all around East Field. Only need to get through 4.5 for a full game, and starting to feel slight mist again as Rao will swing right through a fastball. So 3 straight fastballs to Zach Rao, and can't connect on any of them. Outlaws 2 hits. They leave 1 on, and we are halfway through this one in Glens Falls. Dragons, a 5-1 score. Is up from first as he's on the edge of the grass. 2-0. And Porter hammered out into left field, diving to the ground, lost the hat for. Tagging from third comes Connolly. Outlaws tie this thing up as it's a sac fly from Zach Porter. Coach Dio, Coach Keaton Mark, and our home plate umpire having a quick conversation here. And I think they're really trying to keep an eye on the conditions of play here at Eastfield. As again, we all knew rain could potentially be a factor tonight, but luckily at this point we've dodged it, except for little sprinkles. It's continuing to spit drops here and there as we kick off bottom 5. Jenks on the left side, right past the dive, Matt Carrera. That one died a bit on the edge of the grass, rolling into left. So a single for the extra hitter starting off this bottom of the 5th, and quickly going to go to Aiden Gallagher. Gallagher 1 for 2 on the night thus far, RBI single. Scored a run, stole a bag in that first inning. Also flew out to right to end the second. Short lead off first. Ballard trying to hold the base runner. As this one up in the mountains left side, carrying back towards left center. And that one going to get out of here. Second home run of the ball game for this Glens Falls Dragons team. This run, a 2-run shot by Aiden Gallagher, and their lead goes to 7-1. It certainly did not seem like Gallagher hit that one too hard, but that ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying and squeaks over the fence. And so, just like that, David Denton not greeted in any sort of nice way here starting off this next half inning. Wind gust starting to come here at Eastfield, as well as Gabriel quickly in a 1-0 count. If it starts to rain here at Eastfield, as we said, going to tear down camera and audio board, and we'll switch to Instagram or Facebook Live here. We'll make up our mind if and when we have to do that. But quickly the count to 1-1. And hopefully we don't have to. As this one up over the screen, first base side, and drops foul. So the count to 1-2. And catch that up on the count here for you. 1-2. Tight to the knees. Count quickly, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gabriel, an RBI single in the first, 5-3 ground out in the third. Is Denton, a fastball, and that one motored straight back foul yet again. So Gabriel's now seen 5. He'll be followed by Enrique Diaz, and then the 4th man up in this half inning, well, Nick Galileo after the fact. Is this one tap past Ryan Dio on the third baseline. So Gabriel's now burned through 6 David Denton pitches. Nobody's throwing in the bullpen and left for Oneonta as of yet. Coach Keaton and Coach Joe, see them talking in the Outlaw dugout at the moment. Denton out of the stretch position here. Is that one going to skip up off the plate, and the count runs full. Continuing to start to sprinkle here in Glens Falls. And it looks like we are going to have to switch things over here. Dented. Going to drop one in low, called strike 3, and that'll be the first down. We're going to tear things down here quick. We'll switch over to IG Live here in just a moment, but hang with us.